Bulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tauvenga-Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, police confirm spike in home invasions. Pacific leaders call for collective approach for climate fight. An education minister fronts court over FICAC charges.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spade.
There has been an increase in reports of house break-ins recorded by the police force, and this has triggered a Know Your Neighbour campaign. Police Commissioner Brigadier General Sitiveni says they have a suspect under arrest who is alleged to have been involved in a series of robberies. Kelly Vadala reports.
A lot of people have recently become victims of burglary, home invasion and aggravated robbery.
There had been a spike in robberies in certain areas, and we had made a significant arrest of a person involved in these robberies. And also, we've recovered a good number of items.
2 residents of Wailoku in Tamavua are still coming to terms with their horrible experience after their homes were targeted in the wee hours of the morning.
They steal the money from the shop, we're in a little shop. They take some cash, recharge money. It's about 1,000. So they come inside. We don't know if there's thief inside, but I had something fall down. Then I wake up.
We woke up the next day only to find that our mobile phones, shoes and food were missing. They must have robbed our home at 3 to 4 in the morning when we were all asleep. They even took our house and car keys.
The police commissioner says while investigation continues, the force has also embarked on a Know Your Neighbour campaign to address these serious crimes.
We've embarked on a campaign now of knowing your neighbour. And most of our investigations have shown that people don't even know who's around their houses.
The force is in the process of getting the community policing officers out in the divisions and to encourage people to get on board with the Know Your Neighbour campaign initiative. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Pacific leaders have called for collective action on a number of issues, from renewable energy to sustainable agriculture to innovative climate financing. Among the deliberations at the Climate Action Pacific Partnership meeting, the leaders agreed that under Fiji's leadership, a Pacific agenda is being crafted to ensure the best possible outcome for the region at COP23. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
It's a high-level meeting with the main agenda a consensus on how to save our islands against the raging storm that is climate change. And the proposals were in tune across the region for a low-carbon, climate-resilient future.
We would very much like to propose that there is an emphasis on sustainable agriculture and fisheries, access to finance adaptation, renewable energy, clean water.
The work we have ahead of us will be arduous, but a challenge nonetheless. That can be overcome through partnership, ambition, and collective efforts.
Which may include delivering progress on the Paris Agreement Rulebook and the 2018 Facilitative Dialogue, the adaptation and mitigation work.
That we should focus our discussion on our expectation of COP23 in Bonn, leading to Poland.
Set foundations of a unified Pacific negotiation bloc, including avenues for the pre-COP23 communication.
And this includes faster progress on renewable energy, stronger disaster response and insurance facilities, stronger science and policy capabilities to inform action against climate change.
Prime Minister Vrange Bainimarama noted there needs to be transformative solutions that are practical, affordable and replicable across the Pacific.
I certainly welcome the confirmation of that piece of land, perhaps in Delma or near New Serua, so we can start constructing our our movement here.
Regional coordination, adequate financing of adaptation measures, effective insurance-based mechanisms, clean energy and sustainable transport are all high priorities.
With regard to developing country NDCs, implementation is a collective responsibility.
NUI stands firm in solidarity with the region Pacific Island countries to prioritise in action the challenges and threats to climate change and fully committed to the Paris Agreement.
Tonga continues to support the Pacific's joint efforts in tackling climate change, because together we are stronger.
Those of us in the Pacific know how to steer a ship through choppy waters, but having a formal naval officer such as yourself at the helm only gives us more confidence.
We need to implement it not only for the COP23, but in order to get a strong organization for the future.
To reiterate the importance of advancing the work of the UNFCCC and preserve the multilateral consensus for decisive action to address the underlying causes of climate change.
The meeting concludes today with outcomes to be finalised shortly thereafter. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The European Union has commended a strong commitment by all Pacific Islands to lead the global climate discussion. Speaking at the high-level Climate Action Pacific Partnership meeting, EU Deputy Head of the Delegation for the Pacific, Corrado Pampaloni, said endorsing the framework for resilient development and integrated approach to climate change and disaster is a step in the right direction. Pampaloni added that the EU will support initiatives on disaster risk insurance in order to unleash the potential of insurance in dealing with extreme weather events.
The European Union and its member states are firmly committed to the implementation of the Paris Agreement and are committed to holding the global temperature rise well below the 2 degrees and to pursue efforts to limit this increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius.
Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy appeared in the Suva Magistrates Court this afternoon, charged by FICAC with 1 count of bribery and 1 count of undue influence. It is alleged that Dr. Reddy offered a steady water source for Ra High School to influence the future vote of Waise Lelombo, the school manager. It is also alleged that Dr. Reddy interfered with the free exercise or performance of Lelombo's political rights. The alleged offences took place on May 8th. Dr. Reddy pleaded not guilty on both charges and presented 2 sureties in court. Reddy was ordered to report to Nambour Police Station once a week, and the matter has been adjourned to July 19th. In a first-of-its-kind case, a couple is in court for allegedly failing to ensure the safety of their 1-year, 11-month-old child, resulting in his death. 34-year-old Petero Taitusi and 29-year-old Lowata Vitalina are each facing 1 count of manslaughter arising from breach of duties. Shireen Shivan reports.
Petro Taitusi and Lowata Vitalina from Sawanikula Dawasamu are alleged to have failed in their duties as parents. The court was told this morning that both did not take their child to the CWM hospital for medical checkup, despite being referred by the nurse at the Samambula Health Center on 19th February 2013. The child later died from pneumonia. Prosecution witness Dr. Miliakere Balelevuka, who specializes in child health care, gave her testimony via Skype from Marshall Islands this morning. Dr. Balelevuka, who was based at the CWM hospital at that time, recalled getting the child's referral from the Samambula Health Center, as she was told by a staff nurse that the child was brought to the health center several times and it was noted that he was sickly. The doctor said she then arranged an ambulance to go to Samambula to pick up the child. However, she was told by the nurse that the child's mother told them she wants to take her son to the CWM hospital in a taxi, but allegedly did not turn up. Dr. Balelevuka told the court that she waited for the child whole day. She said in cases like this, the child needs urgent care, full examination and investigation, as he was brought to the hospital several times. The child, who was allegedly never taken for medical examination at the CWM hospital in Suva, died on 28 February 2013. Head of pathology at the Fiji Police Force, Dr. James Kalonivaki, who is one of the prosecution witnesses, took their stand this afternoon. He informed the court that the post-mortem report reveals the child, who was suffering from cough, fever and shortness of breath, died due to blood clot. The trial continues tomorrow. Sharin Shivan, FBC News.
Still to come, Council delighted with new budget allocation. And Kandavo students learn more about toppers. Details after the break.
Nimbula vinaka na yavangunga andi moala ranalika o tikongo na tau no singatoka ando talisaka na vakaronga na Mbula FM number 2 na serre.
Ya dora subuni kurna bili. Borani batukara hambara binaranga. Do talitakina na vakaronga na Mbula FM number 2 na serre. Bula.
Bula FM number 2 na serre.
People with disabilities who meet relevant requirements set by the National Council of the Disabled Persons will now receive a monthly allowance of $90. This will be made possible under the new funding of $8 million in the national budget. Sanyani Boiler reports.
The Fiji National Council of Disabled Persons has been allocated $1.2 million, an increase of over $700,000.
This is in the history of for the council and also for persons with disability. This is a big one. This is a big step forward for all of us.
Yanyano Tawa says the council has requirements for those who wish to become beneficiaries. Minister Marseni Buniwanga says certain modifications will be done to the scheme to ensure it is best utilized.
In a way, the CNP protection allowance already looks at those children who are living with disabilities. So with the incoming program for those persons living with disabilities, there needs to be some adjustments made in relation if a family is already under CNP and a child is eligible for the new disability allowance arrangement. Certain amendments will need to be made to the package that the family will now be eligible for.
The government will continue tax deduction to wages paid to employees with disabilities. The government has also allocated $500,000 to FRA to install disabled-friendly infrastructure on our roads and footpaths. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
Plans to relocate a small village in Dakandrove are being impeded by the village's traditional obligation to the former Tuivakau. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports the villagers fear customary punishment should they relocate.
The Wunisavisavi village lawn is usually swamped by seawater, turning it into a breeding ground for crabs. Villagers here have had to deal with sea level rise for years now.
Before, our homes used to be where the waves are. From that time until now, we've moved about so many meters inland, as you can see now.
Wunisavisavi was the initial home of the then Tuivakau, and this was where he settled, known as the Lalangavesi. He left for Somosomo during the tribal wars in the 1800s and years later sent one clan to watch over this place. The villagers hold this traditional obligation strongly, so much that despite being strongly advised to relocate, some are not willing to budge.
The main thing that is holding us back is that our forefathers were sent here to look after this place. We treasure our obligation and we value it. That is why it's difficult for us to move. For me, when they said for us to move, I told them no. I am willing to sign a statement with the police that if I get swept away by the waves, there is to be no investigation. I don't want to move.
64-year-old Marida Quita is one of the oldest villagers and has lived here almost all her life. She has seen firsthand the effects of sea level rise brought about by climate change.
My home is that side, and it's now much closer to the beach than before. When it's high tide, the waves come right up to the steps in front of the house.
Those building new homes in the village are doing so further uphill in an attempt to get away from the rising sea level. The villagers are also asking for a seawall to protect their village for at least the next decade or two. Eleanor Turangivu, FBC News.
The Marama Natuimba Andilaite Koroiroa was laid to rest today at the chiefly burial grounds of Nailanga village in Ba. The Vanua of Ba mourned the loss of their chief who died at the Lautoka hospital 2 weeks ago. The late Marama Natuimba passed away following a short illness at the age of 78. The late Andi Laite has maternal links to the Vanua of Mbao. The Prime Minister led government officials at the funeral this morning to present their rengu-rengu to the late chief. Andi Laite was farewelled by loved ones, government dignitaries and chiefs at a church service. The humble-hearted woman had a caring personality and sweet smile, which not only will be missed by the Vanua of Mba and Mbao, but also Fiji as a whole. Students need to understand the national priorities. According to the Fiji Higher Education Commission, with job opportunities in great demand, the National Toppers Scheme scholarship is a priority. Savara Tambor reports.
Richmond Methodist High School in Kandavu is about 30 minutes drive from the Vunisea government station. Part of the government roadshow underway in Kandavu, students of the school are being helped on how to attain the National Toppers Scholarship.
These national priorities have been identified by a strategic planning department or office, and they have pointed out, I think, about 12 focus areas or 12 areas where our national priorities lie in terms of qualifications and training that we need. So it's important that students understand these national priorities, areas like marine biology, engineering.
Awareness conducted by the Education Ministry has broadened the students' knowledge.
I'm in year 12 and I'm thankful after this year there will be many open doors, and I'm thankful to the government for taking their time to come and visit us in our school and give us a fair idea of what is required on the Topper scheme.
Technical college is not only for male but it's for females also. Female students should not stop themselves from pursuing their dreams in technical colleges that's provided by the government.
Rawalai says it's important for teachers and parents to understand the national priorities so that students are well advised when it comes to scholarship application. National toppers are awarded as per national priority areas. Sabira Tambua, FBC News.
A treat to your ears is promised by the internationally renowned a cappella group Harvard Crocodilos. The group of 12 boys from Harvard University will be hosting a free concert at USP's ICT Center tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Crocodilos will be conducting a masterclass with music students from FNU and USP. The group is currently on its 35th annual world tour of 17 countries.
Wear tuxedos from that era, the shawl collar, the old 40s style, and we sing a lot of music from sort of that era. A lot of jazz, swing. Take Frank Sinatra. That's kind of what the Crocs are all about.
The Fiji Broadcasting Corporation celebrated its 63 years of service to the public today. FBC Chief Executive Riaz Said Qayyum says after starting as a small radio station back in 1954, FBC is now the only media company in Fiji featuring both radio and television and is rapidly growing.
It means that we are progressing not only as a broadcaster but as a national broadcaster, because we have a very, very important and responsible role, and that is to be the voice of the people, to bring to light topics of discussion and issues that affect the people of Fiji.
Ahead in sports, Melly will have the latest on the Fiji International Golf, but joining us next is Rachel with business.
Thank you, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. ATH records profit growth. And in growing Fiji, Thai-level roads gets upgrade. Stay with us.
I'm another of whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Tano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back. Amalgamated Telecom Holdings Limited and its group companies have recorded a profit after tax of over $85 million for year ending 31st March. This is an increase of 4.2% as compared to the $81.8 million recorded for the corresponding previous period last year. The group consolidated profits and minority interest is $54.2 million. Some major subsidiary companies have improved their performance during the year, which has contributed significantly to the overall success result of the group. And Elizabeth joins us now from HFC Bank with the latest from the markets.
Good evening. Let's have a look at our national economy. The Reserve Bank of Fiji has stated the economy is on track to achieve a higher growth of 3.8% in 2017 after an estimated growth of 2% last year. For the month of May, the annual inflation fell to 2.5% compared to 4.1% in the previous month. Inflation is expected to be around 3% by the end of the year. Meanwhile, our foreign reserves remain adequate and grew by $161.3 million in May. As of yesterday, our foreign reserves stood at $2.3 billion. With both the foreign reserves and inflation being at comfortable levels, the Reserve Bank maintained its policy rate at 0.5% in June. Vinaka, and back to you, Rachel.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Let's take a look at today's exchange rates. The Fijian dollar strengthened against the Chinese yuan to close at 3.25, while it weakened against the American dollar to close at 47 cents. Closer to home, the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar strengthened to close at 62 cents and 64 cents, while the PNG kina dropped to close at 1.33. As for the commodities market, oil prices continues its upwards trend to close at 47.4 a barrel, while gold went down to close at 1,223 an ounce, and silver followed suit, closing at 16.19 an ounce. In Growing Fiji tonight, a selection of boggy roads in heavy rain will soon be a thing of the past for residents, especially farmers who live along Nukurua Road in Tailevu. Fulton Hogan Highways has gravelled the road so it can withstand the weight of carriers and logging trucks. Farmers can now take their produce to the market without any challenge. Nukurua Road is known for its commercial pineapple, dalo and banana farms, commercial forests, and also provides access to 4 villages. And that's your business news this evening. Now to the latest in sports. Here's Melly.
Thanks, Rachel. Good evening. Coming up in sports. Flying Fijians depart for Tonga battle. And AFL still short of required dollars. This and more after the break.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकु रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारियल रेकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन टोटो ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
The Vodafone Flying Fijians left for Tonga today for the Pacific Nations Cup opener against the Ikaletahi on Saturday. The 28-year team has a lot of experience and go into the match as favourites after having secured wins over Italy and Scotland. Winger Joshua Tuisova says the team will do its best to get the #1 spot from Oceania in the 2019 World Cup. This will be the first time for me to play against Tonga, and this is my second test for the Flying Fijians. I'm looking forward for the challenge and I'm ready to play for Fiji. And Rugby World Cup spots will be up for grabs at the Pacific Nations Cup, and Vodafone Flying Fijians log Dominico Wanganimurotu knows how hard it will be to topple Tonga in the tournament opener on Saturday. The former Maris Brothers High School student knows playing the Pacific Island teams is never easy, especially in opposition territory. Rohit Dev reports.
The 31-year-old has enough experience and says Tonga will be a hard nut to crack.
We're going to be facing a really good Tonga team, as we saw last week against Samoa. Doing our homework on them, and we'll be getting ready for them.
Some key players had to pull out from the PNC, but Wangani Borotu says this will not affect the team.
I don't think it's going to affect the team that much. We've come a long way for this last four weeks, and we've got players to fill in the spots, and they're excited to play.
Tonga will be backed by the huge vocal support from the home crowd, but Fijian coach John McKee says they have enough experience to counter that.
We know that the home fans will be very vocal behind the home team, but for our group here, that's why we've picked a very experienced group for these two games, and it's about our mental preparation for the game, about our focus on the game.
The match kicks off at 2 p.m. in Tonga on Saturday. The top two teams in the combined results of 2016 and 2017 PNC will qualify for the 2019 Rugby World Cup in Japan. Rohit Dev, FBC Sports.
The Naitasiri rugby side will host Namosi in the semi-final of the Skipper Cup this Saturday. The Highlanders finished at the top of the points table, while Namosi finished third. The match kicks off at 3 p.m. at Nosori's Ratu Thakomau Park. The second semi-final starts at the same time in Singatoka's Lawanga Park, where Nadrunga hosts Suva. Defending champions Nadrunga finished second in the standings, while Suva finished fourth. The Pacific Games Council has called for expressions of interest from other Pacific Games associations wishing to host the 2019 Pacific Games. Tonga had been scheduled to host the Games, but withdrew because of financial difficulties.
We'll quickly review all those expressions of interest and maybe do a short list. And then the Chief Executive of the Games Council and myself, we will go and visit those countries and talk to the leaders, sports leaders, government leaders, and get a feel for their ability or readiness to host the Games in 2 years' time.
Former world #1 and Fijian golfer Vijay Singh has confirmed his participation for this year's Fiji International. Another good news for the tournament is that for the first time, the Asian Tour will be part of the tournament. 30 golfers from the Asian Tour will feature at next month's event, which is expected to give it another boost.
Hosting this tournament for the last 3 years has not only attracted a new market of tourists to our shores, but it has also diversified our tourism industry and makes sports tourism an integral part of the actual industry. And it has also demonstrated that Fiji is capable of hosting world-class events.
AFL Fiji still needs more financial assistance as they prepare for the International Cup next month in Melbourne, Australia. Despite the assistance from the government, AFL Fiji needs more top-up to cater both the men's and the women's team. With just a month away from the International Cup, AFL Fiji is still trying to dig deep for funds.
We're still short in, as far as our accommodation bill is concerned, our visas, our apparel and everything. The guys are doing a fantastic job in coming and training with their own clothes, and we'd really like to get them some training gear and some playing gear.
Highfield is calling on for assistance from various businesses and stakeholders.
Still there's a little top-up that we need to get to, so any major sponsors that want to come on board and get naming rights for the teams and can come and help us out, that would be fantastic.
This year's teams are the most experienced to date.
This is one of the most prepared team out of the two outings, and compared to skills, training, before we don't have a manager, we don't have a trainer, but now we have a specialist coach, we have a specialist trainer.
AFL Fiji has promised they will find all alternatives to ensure both the teams will compete in Melbourne next month. In today's Play of the Day, we take a look at some action from the All Blacks training session. Malakai Fekito plays Sonny Bill Williams in the team squad to face the Lions this Saturday. The midfielder looked like a man possessed during the morning's workout after joining the team last night. That's it from sports this evening. Catch weather later on with Angie. And in the world of the weird and the wonderful, we tell you about a new type of supermodel. Find out more after the break.
Bula, keron mai singatoka, keron do talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and domoy viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon ko do talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina domoy viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tale, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu pinasibale, nagundurong barong na Radio Fiji 1 na domoy viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na domoy viti na honga ni BNN.
In new media, panic buttons used by the elderly when they need help from the police or medical personnel can be the difference between life and death. Now, a new bracelet fitted with a mobile phone and GPS tracking device could replace panic buttons, and not just for seniors. Angie joins us now with the very latest from weather.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. Incredible Tuesday, wasn't it? The day was just so beautiful. I absolutely loved it and hope you did too. Guess the sun is in a good mood after all. In the west, it was a dry day with sunshine in abundance, a sight not to be missed. Eastwards, from Peck Harbour to Suva, there were clear blue skies with cool winds blowing by. And up in Vanuatu, it was another warm, pleasant day with a slight increase in the temperatures. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. And for the tides, low tide tonight will be at 8:38 with a high tide tomorrow morning at 3. Sunrise will be at 6:38. For tomorrow, the sun has decided to stay with us a little longer. Tomorrow's temps, Suva will be the coolest spot at 25 degrees. And looking ahead to Thursday, the good weather will continue, but cloudy periods are likely as we get into the evening period. And that, Jackie, is FBC weather for tonight.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fijian Pulse today, we asked, are you willing to pay an extra 10 cents for usage of plastic bags during shopping?
No, I don't think so. I think I should take my own bag for the shopping.
No, I don't think so. I think I should bring my own plastic bags and to save the environment.
No, thank you. I think I'll sew my own bag for my shopping.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, Marie Malik came to the U.S. as a child refugee. Now she uses her supermodel status to advocate for children affected by war in South Sudan. Recapping the main stories, police confirm spike in home invasions. Pacific leaders call for collective approach for climate fight. And Education Minister fronts courts over FICAC charges. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question, we are asking, are you happy with the new tax threshold? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, today's shot of the day comes from Kandavu. Our cameraman Alex captured this yesterday as he arrived on Kandavu to cover the government roadshow. Beautiful sunset. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable evening. Bye for now.
Bula, keron mai singatoka, keron do talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and domoy viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon ko do talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina domoy viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tale, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu pinasibale, nagundurong barong na Radio Fiji 1 na domoy viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na domoy viti na honga ni BNN.